Voila!
Mm, mm, mm. I'm ready to the group, yo. Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. Anyway, hi everybody, and hello to my guest, Miss Francois. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be having you on my show. Finally, yo.
I like how you're extra excited. And I'm normally the hype one.
I'm always excited. I am so always excited. And that's why I was like, you know what? I know you're my fellow overexcited type of person. So I'm like, I'm going to have this person.
I'm like, this is my first live. I'm like, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, should I be, on my best behavior? So I'm trying to.
I would suggest you be on your everyday behavior.
Okay.
So I don't know. So I don't know if it's a best behavior or terrible behavior, but just be yourself. And to everybody. And everybody else who's joining, thank you guys for joining us today. I am so super excited to be having the lovely Miss Francois all the way in the States from Trinidad
and Tobago.
And I see you're wearing the colors.
I'm missing the white though. It's red, white, and black. So I'm missing the white.
Missing the white, exactly. Yeah. So like, okay, looking nice. I love that. That is so amazing. And thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of my show. And the fact that I'm doing the Black History Month for all the women who are rising out there. And you're doing good. I love your talk show. So it's like, I wouldn't mind having a collabo with somebody who's in my field. So I'm happy.
Well, you're welcome. I do what I can.
Right? Oh no, you're doing great. I love the way you're just authentic when it comes to your show. You're just yourself and you keep going. It's really good.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start with the introductions for those who do not know. Who is Miss Francois? Where you from? We've already established that. And what do you do?
Okay, so Mss Francois, my first name is Patrice. Since I started the show, I barely actually use my first name, so I kind of like it. So I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and I've been in the States for like almost about 20 years or so.
Oh, and nice.
I do a lot of things. Like my main job is like in a financial institution, but that's boring after a while. Whatever. I still like my job. Yeah. So the main thing I do, I host my own talk show, which is basically relationship focus. And a little about bashing men because whatever, that makes it a little fun.
We're gonna get into that. Don't worry.
And I just make it more entertaining instead of just talking. I just throw a little humor in there. So that's kind of sums up Patrice in that aspect.
Right. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. I just like the way that your shift from finance, the fact that you decided, okay, not that you're leaving finance, you're still doing it, but then you're like, change, talk show. What? Money, talk show? I'm like, okay. So what made you want to get into talk show from finance?
Well, I can answer that question very easily. Man. Okay, it always has something have to happen in your life for you to switch, because talk show was never in my future. I couldn't care. I'm not interested whatsoever. But something always had to happen, and most of the time it's some kind of relationship. So, like, it have to do with men, right? Having like a bad breakup or whatever the case might be, and sometimes you need somewhere to vent. right? How it even came up is like last year around this same month, one of my friends came to me. He does like a aim high, like a motivational something with youths and stuff. And sometimes we have discussions, and he was with me, and he was like, I was going through like that kind of, not depression, but you're sad and you're not sure what you want to do in life, something along those lines. And he's like, if you want do anything right now, and you have all the money in the world, whatever, what would it be? I said, maybe I'll have a talk show and just talk about me. I was like, I like myself. Maybe someone wants to hear all about me. But I was joking,
Right.
And that same time, it was like something to do. So I kind of checked out into it, and studio and classes and whatever the case might be. And then they gave you an opportunity if you wanted to have your own talk show. You could submit something. And for my class project, I asked my friend who was going through like her husband had like an affair, whatever. The girl was hiding in the bathroom, whatever the case might be, like some serious drama. So I was like, you want to tell your story? I'm like, no one's going to see it, but it's like just a pilot, something just for a talk show for my class to pass my class. And she's like, sure, whatever. So we recorded it and everything. And I was kind of leaving it like that. And when they kept saying, oh, you could have a talk show, I'm like, okay, let me just submit it, but it's not going to be a big thing. And then they actually accepted it. And I was like, what the hell? I have a talk show? Right? So my friend who I was like, no one's ever going to see it. No, all of a sudden it's like it's going to be there for everyone to see. But it was just how it started was more it's something to do. And then someone just, getting it from not even thinking of doing something like that to all of a sudden you have your own talk show just for the hell of it. But the whole thing with her going through that at the same time, I always had issues finding a husband or a significant other, a partner or whatever. So it was always frustrating. So it ended up being like an outlet. And around that time when I started the pilot, I had my own breakup issue. So I'm going through all these emotions, like I'm angry, frustrated, whatever the case might be. So it was an outlet to actually talk about it. But instead of, how we women like to be like, and he left me, and oh, he cheated on me, and we all sad and depressed. It's so overrated. So I was like, why not make it? Because what do? All we do is we call our friend who have no man either. So she don't have a man, you don't have a man, and then you all going on and on about depression and how men this and how men that, and it's overrated. So I thought, why not add some humor to it to make it more funny? And when something is funny, that's when everyone likes to, they don't mind doing something or listening to someone's point of view. But if you're just talking, people get bored easily. But if you make them laugh, they tune in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But even before that, like, I don't, about Toastmasters? It's like it's an organization that's all over the world that helps people with like public speaking and leadership skills and stuff like that. So I had joined Toastmasters like 4 years ago. So you would do like little short speeches and stuff like that. And I had entered a competition in like 2016. And my whole skit was like, I can't find a man. So that was the whole thing. It was like 5 minutes. I end up winning the competition in like the whole of New York, which was like a fluke because I was always scared to speak. But it was a humorous competition. So it was all about trying to find a man online, and you think you find a guy, and then you find out he has a bunch of kids. So it was, and I was like, if Steve Harvey can't find me a man, like, therefore no one can.
I saw one of your videos. Like, this is for Steve Harvey. This is for Uncle Steve Harvey. I was like, oh wow, that is so amazing.
So that's how it kind of, and technically it stemmed from there. So I did that. Then the following year, I took that 5 minutes thing and I made it into like a 45 minutes one woman show that I did off Broadway to like 2 shows. And it's just weird how like that was 2017. I won the competition for that. Then 2018, I did a Broadway show thing. And then it's like, it's amazing. The same thing just like transformed over into a talk show. It's like God had his own plan. So it's kind of cool.
Wow, that is so amazing. We're going to get back to the talk show, but just the theme of the month, I have a lot of the fact that you mentioned about the reason for your talk show. So we're going to get back into that. But then, so according to you, what's your significance of Black History Month?
How I see Black History Month?
Yes.
Okay, so me, okay, so you gotta remember, I'm still Trinidadian from not from here. So everything that I learned, you get here and you hear about Black History Month. First, I didn't understand it. Like, why do we have a month? But
Exactly.
I remember.
And then, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. Right. So this is like the thing, and check me, not to say anything against any Americans or anything like that. I don't get the whole point why we have a month. And I guess to more focus on Black people and things Black people have done. But it's like I remember watching something, I can't remember his name, but he was saying it doesn't have a white people month. Why we have a Black History Month? We should be celebrated all year. True, but I get it. I see it as is. You definitely is focused because of all the past when these things we never had any attention was brought to us, or it was always negative. We get to take this time to focus on all the positive things Black people have done, or Black Americans, or just Black people on a whole has done. So that's how I see it. Just focus on all the positive things.
Oh, wow, that's great. So what's your understanding of the famous statement by one of the most prominent speakers of all time, the late Dr. Martin Luther King? I am Black and I am beautiful. Right now, we're just talking about having it all throughout the year, right? But then why the statement of I am Black and I am beautiful, to be specific on color, really?
Because, but you know what it is? Because for so many years, anytime people think Black, it tends to have like a negative thing attached to it. It could be something called Black Hole. It could be Black Friday. Everything Black tends to be negative. They have done so many. I've seen so many things done where they will give kids a doll, and when the doll is Black, it's like a negative compared when you give them a white doll. So I think this to focus that it doesn't even be just because you're Black, that doesn't mean it's a negative. Because growing up, even in history, it's just Black is a negative thing. So it's just to focus on, even though you're Black, it's not a negative thing. You're Black and you're beautiful. And you should embrace that and accept who you are and love who you are. You know, too many times people think because Black is like a bad color, even in the color pencils or the crayons or whatever, Black is like the color no one even wants to use. But they use all the other colors. So accept who you are and love who you are.
Wow, that is so amazing. I hope everybody can.
Girl, I'm trying to sound deep.
You're trying to sound deep. Well, you are. That is actually deep, yo.
Check me.
Because
I was Googling.
I see now. Well, thanks to Mr. Google or thanks to Mr. Bing, you know, and thanks to that, if you can, then go ahead. You know what I mean? But then, you know, I've also since learned, like you're saying, people have to be proud of who they are. When you see some people, recently I learned a term called colorism. I was like, what? There's a term called colorism where you shine your own color. You know, I'm like, who does that? Instead of embracing who you are, you know what I mean? Just loving the way you are.
And that's hard for people these days because, again, with all the social media and all this stuff, and, you know, everyone have their own perception. So when you see certain things, you think you have to look like that, you have to be like that, and if you're not, you're just not relevant. So I think it is harder now than, you know, 10, 20 years ago. So everyone is trying to keep up. So you have to have maybe the straight nose, you have to kind of lighten your skin, you know. So like someone had told me even once, like white is right, Black stay in the back, and brown hang around. So that was like certain things people would say. And you know, when it sounds weird, but when you think about it, that's how it is. If you're white, you're right. If you're Black, stay in the back. And if you're brown, you have a chance you might be okay and kind of accepted. Because I have a friend, she just had a song. She just sang a song and she's going to be on my show like next week. She's like, she's called, you're pretty for a dark girl. And I'm so ignorant to that because I didn't realize that's something people even say. Because she's like, yeah, people say it all the time. You're pretty for a dark girl. And I guess I don't get it because I'm not, you know, not dark. So I've never gotten that. So she's like, that's something she always had to live with. People always make that statement, you're pretty for a dark girl. So I guess that's shocking because technically if you're dark, you're supposed to be ugly.
Wow.
I know.
That
So
is
I'm.
so bad.
I know. That's crazy, right?
Wow, it is so crazy. But anyway, now back to the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've answered two questions at once. Earlier on, because earlier on I was just going to ask. So mind sharing to the viewers about your talk show. Actually, mind sharing to the viewers about your talk show because you shared to us why and how you started the talk show. But tell us more about your talk show.
Okay. So the whole point of the talk show is basically it's no matter what, it always comes back to relationship focus. But I think it could be the silliest things, and I always turn it back to relationship. So. And but the whole point of it, even though it's focused on relationship, which is tends to be a touchy subject, the main thing is I infuse humor. People say, "Oh, I'm a comedian," but I'm not a comedian. What I try to do is a 30 minutes talk show. The first 5 minutes, I tend to have an entertainment. Most of the time, I have a comic because it's funny. Because as soon as you remember, sometimes people are flipping through stations or whatever. So sometimes when you see someone making jokes, you're gonna stop to look or listen. And when you start
Like
laughing, you might
funny,
stay on.
yeah.
Right, and sit on and say, "Oh, let me see what this is about." So after I have a comic, these days I've been having like some singers or some performers, but I always, even when they perform, sometimes I do put a little comedy in there. Sometimes I fit it in somewhere, but it's more like to start the show off with some kind of entertainment, focus on comedy. For the next 24 minutes or so, I would have different segments. So it could be, the thing is, people might think my show is, oh, you sit down and maybe a bashman or you talk. It's not even that. You say I have an entertainer on, for instance, this show I haven't aired yet, but it was like a particular entertainer. So I might ask them questions about their relationship or being in the entertainment. How hard is it to stay in a relationship? So no matter what it is, I always switch it back to relationship. So I had at one point I might have a psychologist that would be relationship focused questions, but at the same time, it doesn't matter what you do. Once I could form like a story or it makes sense and I could put in the whole relationship focus in there, I would put it. And I spoke to someone today that she said the show actually helped her because according to what topics we're talking about, it's serious. That's why I say my tagline is where comedy meets reality. So at the same time, you're talking about real stuff that happens all the time in your relationship, or you see, or something you might be thinking about but never thought to ask, or maybe you want to ask but you don't want anyone. People might say, "Oh, that's stupid. You should know the answer to that question when it concerns relationships."
Or even just like with girls these days, they're actually ashamed to even open up that they're single. Oh, okay, why are you single? Like people would ask, "Oh, so why are you single? What's wrong with you? Oh, how old are you? How come you don't have?" You know what I mean? And which is true, like it's true. And having your platform, a platform like yours, where you can open up for some people who are afraid to open up themselves, is quite helpful. It's quite helpful, really.
And at the same time, even with the helpful, I always try to make a twist. Like, people have, like I had two people at like personal trainers in the gym or whatever, right? And when people are from the gym, they'll think, okay, she's gonna talk about exercise and stuff like that. I always make it into a twist. I'm like, yeah, it's exercise, but how could exercise help your relationship or help you in the bedroom? So I always change everything that might be not as exciting, and I make a twist to it and showing some kind of relationship stuff and make it fun and funny. Because people is like, so I named that like more stamina. So people are like, more stamina.
I was watching videos. I'm like, okay, I wonder what she has this time. I'm like, oh my god, no, Mss Francois, oh my god. But it's actually funny. It's actually like the idea that you have is actually working, to be honest, because sometimes when I'm like, okay, I wanna see what Mss Francois is up to today, right? Or even it's always popping up on my feet sometimes. I was like, oh, let's see what's up today, because I like the way you're so free spirited, the way you're just authentic. You're like, I don't care who's watching, I am going to do this whether you like it or not. I'm like, you go, girl, why not? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Who can stop you? It's your life, and it's up to you to be happy. You know what I mean? You can't rely on somebody else to bring happiness into your life. Well, yeah, it's always nice to have somebody else to enjoy the happy moments, but then
like they add to it. Yeah.
With you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because people always say, "Oh, I want someone to complete me," but it's more like someone just adding to you. It's so overrated.
Thank you. It's so overrated because you have to be complete yourself in order for you to find somebody else who's complete. Because imagine you bringing disaster into a relationship, like bringing your baggage into a relationship. That would be baggage creating another baggage, another load of baggage. Right? So then I'm like, people need to be whole before they even decide to get into relationships or just meeting somebody, right? Because that's where
and a lot of times we don't take the time to get to know ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the issues. Like no one takes the time to get to know themselves. Because when you think about it, I always tell people it's cute when you see two people in a relationship and they've been together since they were, 15 and 16. It's cute. But unless you grow together, you're most likely going to grow apart because you don't even know yourself. You don't even know what you really want to do. You have no clue. Even though at that point in time in your mind, you think you're so amazing and you're so smart and you know what you're about, you have no clue. And it's only when you get older and you look back, sometimes you look back, you're like, ooh, I was dumb. Or why was I with him?
I know this actually funny enough, I could tell it was a young girl who was like, oh yeah, it was a discussion group, a radio group. So she's like, oh yeah, I do this for my boyfriend. I do everything. I clean for him. I cook for him. I give him his needs in the bedroom. I do everything, but he doesn't give me the attention that I need. I was like, oh my gosh, how old are you? Let's start with that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like, it's stuff like that. Like, first of all, value yourself in order for you to know how much somebody else is supposed to value you. So when I was looking at her, I was like, I think she needs to grow. She needs to know herself first before she can depend on, oh, I need a guy to complete me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, she was crying and saying, I don't know what to do anymore. And I have a feeling she's giving attention to other women and not giving attention to me. I was like, good Lord, this person needs to get to know themselves first or how valuable they are. You know what I mean? Because you have to love yourself first before you can actually let somebody else ill treat you. Because if somebody comes in your life and just doesn't give you all the attention that you need, but you're able to give everything that they would want, I don't think it's a fair game, Paul. Honestly, I don't know. But then I think it's supposed to be a two-way street and not just a one-way street. And for you to have a two-way street, you're both supposed to be complete and know yourselves.
Exactly, and most of us don't. And again, this is something we continue to learn and continue to grow. And that's why whoever we do end up with, we both supposed to be growing together. You have your goals, I have mine, and then we come together. But a lot of times, like even with me, I think a lot of times my issue is I'm overly driven. I'm overly goal oriented. So when you have me doing A, B, C, D, and then the other person is like, right, and then you get a partner, and he's like, okay, well, I came home from work, I'm gonna watch some TV. That's nice. Not to say you can't watch TV, but if that's what you want to do, sooner or later, you're not gonna be seeing me. Then guess what? They're gonna say, "Oh, you're never wrong, and you don't give me." And I'm like, if you're doing something other than just going to work and coming home and watching TV, then we could have more to talk about, and then you'll be focused. So you focus on certain things, and then we come together. But I think people on the whole these days are just lazy. That's like when you think, like, they're lazy. And if you notice, the same people, even in relationship, everybody always busy. Half of the time they're busy doing nothing. Or nothing that makes sense.
Busy doing nothing, oh my God.
Exactly. Oh, I'm too busy today. And when you find out they're not even going after their goals, they're not doing much. But I think that's one of my biggest issues. Because, sometimes in relationship, they say how, oh, the woman of today, oh, I'm so independent. And, oh, men are scared of me and all this crap. And, oh, I don't need a man. And I'm like, that is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I know.
I'm like, who are you trying to impress talking about you don't need a man? As they don't have to be need, but let's be real. After all your big fancy suitcase and you fly here and oh my God, I'm doing so amazing thing. I'm such a, I'm so amazing. I'm like, you come home and you by your damn self. That is just depressing.
Exactly, you're lonely.
Okay? Right? And sometimes it does annoy me. It annoys me because you hear all these women. Yes, it's great. You have a wonderful, nice education and you're doing great things and you're the CEO and all that's wonderful. But I have this thing. Then say win all these awards. Then you walk off stage and there's no say, okay, honey, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You're just walking by yourself. You reach home, you put all your trophies on top of a mantle and you look at them. That's so depressing. But no, woman power. We don't need a man. I'm like, you by yourself. I need a man.
But then, okay, so but do you the way the way you would look at it? Do you look at it as if it's coming out of bitter talk, or does it mean they do not need? There's a difference between needing and wanting, right?
Right.
So them saying need is more of, yes, I can do without a man, but if I can get a man, would be a bonus.
Right. But a lot of women, right? That's how it should be. Like it's a bonus and he's gonna add and we could continue to grow. But most of the time, if you check some of these women, it's because they've been through so much stuff with all the losers that they choose, okay? And that's me included. We choose them, right? And then because we've been through a bunch of stuff, all of a sudden, oh, we don't need a man. That's not nobody's fault but our own. Because a lot of times we do get in relationships and we see all the signs right there. Right there. The signs are right there. And we're like, oh, I like someone once told me, oh, you can train him and blah, blah, blah. I ain't got time. If I want to train somebody, I get a dog. But, you know, people always say, but I don't believe in that. We honestly do see the signs. And when we get out the relationship, right, because we can't take it anymore, then we look back and we're like, oh, yeah, he used to always come. Yeah, like, oh, and all of a sudden we have an epiphany when it was always there. You know?
I know. I'm like, yeah. Oh my gosh, you're so hilarious. I'm so sorry, but yeah. Okay, honestly, yes, I get the part where I do not have the time to train anybody right now, to be honest. But then comparing them to a dog, yes, they're already compared to a dog.
But we do call men dogs all the time.
I know that was so hilarious. I just see that one coming, but it's so funny. But anyway, let's move on with the questions. Before I start crying here, you're so amazing. So I love the way you assert yourself. Like just being authentic, not caring what the next person thinks about what you put out, the content that you put out on your show. How would you define being authentic to somebody who's trying to be a replica?
Okay, the signal kind of went out. Repeat the question one more time. How?
Okay, so how would you define being authentic to somebody who's trying to be a replica? Okay, say I am trying to be like you. Say maybe I am not as funny as you, but then I am trying so hard to be like you. What advice would you give me on the what definition would you give to me on being authentic? Okay, so my thing is how would you teach me to be authentic? Let's put it that way. Or teach you to be authentic? Well, first of all, I don't feel like you could necessarily teach someone to be authentic. No. It more comes with you being comfortable in your own skin. Because again, when you're looking around and seeing everybody trying to be perfect, you always I want to be a Jada Pinkett. I want to be a J-Lo. You know, you could admire them, but still you could take different things from them, but you still need to find who you are. And that's why people, like I always say, you have to read books. You have to take classes. You have to experience the world, go places, you know, and in all of that and going out there and learning different things, you start to find out who you are so you could be okay with who you are. And then you could be able to, you know, say what's on your mind and be honest or whatever. But if you're not, and you're not getting to understand who you are, it's impossible for you to go out there and be yourself. Because me, like people who know me in the past, I'm very shy. I'm the kind of person that put my head down I just walk and could only see the steps in front of me. I know people always say, how are you shy? I'm like, I had very like low self-esteem. I always thought I was ugly. I thought my nose was too big. Like it's ridiculous. And I said,
I wish I knew like how I am now. Of course, you always go back like certain things. I always say try not to have regrets because it doesn't make sense having regrets because it helps you be who you are now. But I wish some of the things I knew now. Obviously, you knew 10 years ago. Because if I knew 10 years ago, girl, ain't no man could have talked to me then. But back then, if you don't think you're pretty enough, or you don't think all these things up, then you entertain anybody.
Yeah,
Oh, now,
yeah.
please, you have to come to a resume now. You have to come with a resume now if you're trying to speak to Patrice. Okay? You can't just come talking about, hey, let me holler at you for a second. Who you talking to?
Like, what do you want?
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So what qualifies one to become a guest on your show?
Okay, so first of all, like in the beginning, of course, when you're starting, I'm totally clueless. First of all, I don't know anything about hosting all this fun stuff, right? So the main thing you go for your friends, whoever you could find. Like the first friend was my friend just going through the issue, and she was glad to come on because she just wanted to talk about it to kind of get it out. And then I was scrambling. I'm like, oh God, I don't know what. So I started with simple segments in my mind first. So the first few episodes was like how to find a good man, right? And the other, and then you ask, single women tend to know other single women. So I asked like one, two of my friends or whatever the case might be who didn't mind being in front of the camera. Because everyone gonna tell you, great idea, great show. Oh my God, that's a great segment. Oh, you want to be on the show? Oh no, I don't think, you know. So that's
I know that it's people are not used to being in front of the camera.
Exactly. But at the same time, I felt like even if you're not accustomed, remember, you're encouraging me to do it, but try to help me by at least being a guest. So in the beginning, like I would say the first 3 episodes, I had like my friends on or a family member on or whatever that actually was dealing with that situation, trying to find a good man. And then the good thing is when you start and people start to see what you're doing, all of a sudden, like right now, if someone asks me, oh, can I be a guest? I'm like, first of all, I'm booked up till like March. Right?
Yeah,
So it's so funny.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Right. So my thing is, for what I do, sometimes I have the segments already in my head, and I would, and I'm part of different little organizations and stuff like that. Like I'm part of Toastmaster and certain things. So I do have like access to some people to begin with. Right? So that's one thing. So since I have some access to some people and I have the segment, sometimes I might know them and know their story. So I say, okay, I have a segment that I'm trying to find a good man. I know 2 or 3 of my friends, they have no man. So you know what? And then I would like base it around that. So as I go on now, I actually have people calling me or emailing me or asking me to be on the show. And at the same time, sometimes they might not be a good fit. Because again, when you're telling me about yourself, because sometimes I just have a conversation, and sometimes if they're saying something or what they're talking about, if it makes sense to me at the end of the day, then, and I could form something around it, we can go. It's just like, I go to the gym or whatever, and I'm like, oh, more stamina in the bedroom. Awesome. So like, and most of the stuff, I come up with a segment most of the time first, and it always reflects back to me. Like, I'm going to have something coming up soon about makeup, right? Because I don't like makeup that much. It's annoying, and the part of the makeup I don't like is touching it up and fixing it or whatever. So people be like, oh, what that? Someone could be like, oh, so being that I have issues with makeup or whatever, I'm like, oh, I could have a segment of makeup, and then people are like, what I have to do relationship? But it have a lot to do with it. 1 minute
like I see, like, it's actually a good topic because a lot of guys these days are like, oh my gosh, these days I'm not going to go with makeup because what I see under the makeup, this is a rip-off, this is fraud, this is this.
Exactly.
It makes sense. It does make sense.
Right.
What you're
and a lot of these days, you're going to bed. We have fake eyelashes. You have fake hair. You have the whole everything fake. And next minute, say you went out with this person, and she get up and she's a whole different person in the morning. That's
scary. You can hardly recognize them. You can hardly recognize even some of the girls I see. Before, I've always seen them with makeup. Ever since I started knowing them with makeup, and then just one day, They just come by you. Oh, hey, Amanda. I was like, oh, hi. Okay. Like, you're done. Okay. And then before you know, somebody calling their name, I'm like, oh my God, who's that? Like, if a woman is surprised by that, what more men? You know what I mean? If I am surprised to say, oh my gosh, is that person that? Like, I've never seen that person. Like, yeah, I totally get it. And go for it. Go for it. I would love to hear the comments and to see the episode and to hear what people will have to say about that, because seriously, makeup is just being overrated. They're overdoing it. I don't know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be so hilarious. Please tag me on that one. I really need to follow up on that one. Okay, so let's talk about frustrated. Do you mind telling the viewers all about what frustrated is all about? I saw on your social media. Yeah.
Right. So the whole thing with frustrated. That's how I started when it was like let's call it a drought. There was no man in sight. I can't find no kind of man. So that was the whole. So, and let's be real, especially when you're single and you're of a certain age, you start to get all the books. I read the Steve Harvey Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Then you go and you read Why Men Marry Bitches. Like, you start to read all these books trying to help yourself, and then after a while you're frustrated because you're like, how much things are going to read? Everybody have advice to offer you, right? So one time I used to call myself a Steve Harvey student. So like I would meet a guy and he will have all these different questions you have to ask them. So, I'll be like, okay, question 1. And I have to ask them after the 3rd day because I can't ask them, all these rules. So after a while you start to get frustrated, and you do get frustrated because and then people is like, oh, and everybody has advice. If you go to church, the church have advice. Your friend have advice. Everybody have advice. Oh, you're supposed to let the man find you. You're supposed, this is 2019, you have to go out there. Then you speed dating. There was a time I was in everything from the speed dating to I joined every online dating site. I was like in single party, single everything. So after a while it starts to get frustrating because it's not fun anymore. It's work. So that's how the whole.
But don't you think looking for it kind of shuts every door? Do you believe in that?
Right. So it's good and bad. It's like, so you're supposed to be found, right? But of course, you're not
be out there,
right.
But don't look for it.
Right. So that's the thing. But it's easier said than done. We could say that and be like, yes, just put yourself out there, position yourself, go to Home Depot, go to do your laundry, and just casually fold your clothes
and just look good.
Right. But let's be real. When you have a drought and you have a man in a while, okay? You don't give a damn. You're like, you sometimes, and even if you tell, I don't care what woman want to play the line. We women, as soon as the guy could walk past, you're like, okay, I see the picket fence. Okay, the child nose will be small, big. Okay, the child here will be a little curly. The child will be we see the guy for 10 seconds and we already plan out the honeymoon. We've been doing that since we're kids. Okay, so even if you claim you're not looking for it, when somebody walks by, you're like, oh my God, let me, I want
that could be my husband. Oh my gosh, the kids.
Exactly.
And oh my God.
What do you do? You get on the phone. Right. And then what am I doing? I'm like, Amanda, guess what? Some girl, this guy just walking, oh my God, he looks like it's, so we say we're not looking, but no matter what, our antennas are always up. You know what I'm saying? No, we could talk to a guy for 2 seconds. You're like, he too short. That ain't gonna work.
Okay, can you stop it? Because I feel like you're talking to me right now. It's too short. Hold up. Just hold on. Okay, did he even say anything to you?
Exactly.
Friends will be like, oh my gosh, oh Amanda, what'd you think about this person? What'd you think about this? I'm like, it's too short. Like, hold up. Just hold. Like, he's never said anything. Like, what?
No,
that
it's
is so funny. Women are funny. Women are really interesting. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. But tell us, this is now off off the talk show about your talk show. It's not about your talk show, actually. So tell us about your experience of meeting one of the most prominent motivational speakers alive. Les Brown.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I was like, really? Oh my god.
Yeah. So my joke, I have the weirdest thing. Like all the motivational speakers that I love, honestly, they all passed away, which really sucks. So Les Brown was a big deal for me because like all the people that you if you listen to Les Brown speak, he talk about all his mentors and stuff like that, and they all passed away. So I like all the people that seem to be passed away. So when the opportunity that come in to go to Les Brown, I'm the kind of person, if I'm going to something, if I'm not doing VIP, I'm not going. Cause not to say that you can't go, that's fine for those people, but when you things, you're like, no. If I'm going somewhere, I'm VIP or I'm not going. Okay? So the best part of that is when they ask the questions part. I even got up to ask a question because I'm like, he gonna see me. But let me tell you, girl, the whole thing, at the end of the whole thing, when I went to see the whole Les Brown thing or whatever, it happened that they wasn't able to take any photos or anything, right? So I lost my whole opportunity to get the photo. But my name is Patrice François.
Oh,
I am
yeah.
not even,
Go for what you want. You're just
Exactly.
like a man. I go for what I want.
Exactly. I'm like, I am going to get my photo. So people are leaving or whatever the case might be. It's amazing. I get what I want. I just can't get a man. But whatever. I digress. So I saw his photographer or whatever.
That one is not supposed to be a forced matter. Like that one is not supposed to be a forced matter because it's the rest of your life, spending the rest of your life with somebody. That one is okay. It's all right. We can put it on hold. Everything else, let's go for it.
So with the whole thing, right, I had saw his photographer and he was just talking and I was like, oh, we were supposed to get a photo, but I guess time ran out or whatever. He's like, oh, yeah, but you know, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, but I really wanted to get my photo. He's like, oh, you didn't get the photo. I'm like, no. He's like, let me see what I can do. Check me. Of course, I'm in the corner like, Then he's like, oh, they went up to the hotel room already or whatever because they did it in a hotel and it was upstairs or whatever. He's like, let me see what I can do or whatever. So he made like a phone call or whatever and he's like, oh, let me see if you can try. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like following him or whatever and we reach up to the room and you know, they have people in the room or whatever the case might be. And I'm the weirdest person. Like anything that everyone does, I just do the opposite, just on purpose, right? So they come up to the room and everyone is like taking pictures and you know, everyone does I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm not taking no regular side by side. You know, people like peace and no. So I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. Instead, you know, when someone meets someone, they go, oh my God, I love you. I listen to all your motivational stuff. Like, I don't do that. Okay?
Yeah. Compose yourself.
Exactly. First of all, he already knows these things. That's why he is who he is. So why am I telling him something you already know?
That's why you came to watch him to begin with.
Right. And I like to use my time wisely. Okay, I'm not gonna use my time to oh my God, Les Brown. So I go, hi, Les Brown. Okay, this picture is gonna be different. I said, turn around. He's like, what? Like this? I'm like, yes, turn around. Fold your hands like this. Lean like this. And he's like, oh. And then he starts laughing, right? And all the people in his room is like, oh, she's doing what she wants. I'm like, yeah. I mean, Les Brown. So he was like all laughing and we froze up and we took the picture to like back to back or whatever. And so it was like a fun experience. So he was laughing to the whole thing. He's like, oh, okay, you do. And he even remember because I asked a question and this is what people don't realize. Even if you're going in a crowd of people, because I've always had hundreds of people there, you make sure you stand out. Everyone has this thing. Like I have one rule on my show, no jeans. Jeans, everyone wears jeans. When you went to the thing, I would say 90% of them was in jeans. I'm not coming in no jeans. Plus, when I get there, you're gonna remember Patrice when she leaves. You're gonna be like that girl. Even if you don't know my name, you'll know which part I was sitting. You'll know what I was wearing. You know
and what you said.
Exactly. So of course he remembered me asking the question and whatever. So you know you had a little banter or whatever, and just keep it nice and calm. Let people remember you. Because if you're screaming it doesn't make sense. But he was awesome. It's like it's like, it just someone coming right off the screen and like they're in front of you. Like when you first see them, you're like so at all, like you're like. And then the funny thing is, if you listen to him so much when he's telling his story, you're like repeating it verbatim in your mind, like, yeah, he and his brother in an abandoned building, and like, yeah, it's amazing how I love Les Brown. He's
he's
awesome.
an amazing motivational speaker. So I was like, of all the people that you've met, we're gonna have to talk about Les Brown just for a brief moment.
And one of the things, like I always tell people, because a lot of people are still not into like motivational speaking and all that stuff. Some people say, oh, it's a ripoff. I'm like, well, that's the best ripoff whatsoever. Because if you could get at least one sentence or one thing from the talk, at least it could change your life. And the cool thing about Les Brown, when people ask me what book to read or something like that, I always refer to Les Brown only because he tells stories, and he tells relatable stories. Because some people are too intense, and sometimes when start listening to these things, you gotta do levels and move up. You can't just jump in. So I always say Les Brown because he's relatable. He tells a little story. His laughter, you start to laugh when he's laughing. So that's the best place to start. But Les Brown is number one 24/7. I love Les Brown. He's awesome.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, when I meet you, wait for me. I'm going to scream now. I'm going to tell you in advance. I'm going to be screaming, so please do not be alarmed. Let's scream in advance. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I am meeting Mss Francois live for the first time, But yeah, because I love people. I love people. So when you're taking your talk show, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. I am Patrice. I do not wait till 5 years. That is too far. Let's say.
In 12 months, where do you see yourself? Let's talk
this
about
is me, right? So I see it like this. Since I only started even in September, and I had no idea it would even come this far. Look, I'm on your show. What are the chances? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my thing is, like before July reach, I supposed to be on Steve Harvey's show. That's all I'm saying. Steve Harvey is supposed to be like Mss Francois, and I just want to. The first thing I want to say when I get on the show, I just want to mouth to the camera. I told you so.
Oh my gosh! And the police tag me on that one. I'll be like, guys, she's been on my show as well. And it's I told you. And what you believe, sometimes what you believe is what manifests anyway, right? And how you go for it. You end up going for it before you know it, and you'll be on Steve Harvey's show.
It is so amazing because just like how all this has come around, like I always say God is definitely a comedian. Because sometimes you have your goals
he is. Trust me, he's a comedian. God is a comedian.
And God is like, oh, so that's your plan? God is like, no, that's not the plan I have for you, but you could go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm going to wake you up in a month or two. Yeah. So, but for me, it's definitely, my thing is, I even said, I've been single since like last year, August. I was like, I'll wait for Steve Harvey to find me a man. So I'm like, I'm going to be on that show or whatever. This is my plan. Listen to my plan, girl.
Come on now.
I'm going to be on Steve Harvey, right?
Mm-hmm. Steve Harvey is watching. Yes, I will tag him.
So when he finds me the husband, because I have faith that he knows what he's going to be doing, because, he's going to pick the right person here. And he has many success stories that people he has picked for people have worked out, right? So he picked the man. Then I'm going to make sure I'm going to be on Ellen, because at a certain time, I don't want to get pregnant right away. So in case I'm going to need IVF or those thing, Ellen, I'm going to have Ellen DeGeneres pay for that part, right? So now I have to be on Ellen to make sure I get pregnant, right? So you see how it is? I'm going from talk show. I'm getting what I want. I get the husband from Steve Harvey. Ellen going to make sure I get pregnant, right? Because she's going to have to pay for it, because I ain't paying for that, right? And I'm going to tell Ellen, because since she was so generous, because she's generous and she's going to pay for that, right? She could be the child's godmother. That's at least I can do for her, right?
Yes.
You see that?
Oh my gosh, Ellen, I hope Ellen is hearing this. I'm going to tag her on it as well.
And I have my whole plan. So then, Tyler Perry is going to be my mentor. right? Because I did the Broadway show and stuff, and I have that put aside because at some point in time I'm most likely going to be touring, as far as I'm concerned, right? My show can't just stay there, so he's going to be my mentor, right? And with that, of course, I feel like I love Oprah. Like Oprah is like, if you ever watch,
I was waiting for that. I was going to ask you. So where do you leave Oprah?
Right, she's like at the top. So it's like I have this thing in my room, like I have a ladder. It's Steve Harvey, Ellen, Tyler Perry, and Oprah. So it's like I feel like
I was gonna say I don't want you to come on my show because you put me at the bottom of the ladder.
well, the funny thing is I even have I did like a vision board where I have like a table we having dinner and I have all those people sitting there, right? So we're all having dinner. And because as far as I'm concerned, when I just know, I know. It's not like I hope or I wish or someday. I know that is going to happen. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because people nickname me like I'm crazy.
If does not exist in my vocabulary. The word if, it's when. It's when, not if. Every time somebody says, oh yeah, if this happened, I'm like, what do you mean if? You mean when? Like, are you saying when? Because I don't understand the term if. I kind of don't understand that, right?
It's just like when people say, I'm going to try. I'm like, anytime someone says, I'm going to try, I'm like, no, you're going to do.
Just do it. Yeah.
Because trying it's just, we use these things as excuses. So in case we fail, we say, well, I wasn't so sure. I was just trying to see what will happen. But I didn't have, because I would like Mss Francois to be on like a major network. So to me, that leads up to Oprah Winfrey and OWN. I always say I like to have my own show on OWN, and that was even before I had the show. I had cut out like a TV because I'm like into vision boards. I cut out like a TV and I put my face in the TV and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be on TV. I had no idea what I was talking about. I didn't have the show. I didn't have nothing. I was like, and then now when you look back and I look at the vision board, I was like, what the hell? It's amazing. No matter what, that's why I say no matter what you think or what you think you're gonna do, God is like, no, that's not what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do.
And even like every time, even my last live interview when I was talking to the girl who owns the live series, we're talking about how important it is to just put it down, just jotting it down. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yes, I was there. I was listening. She said, write it down.
It's as simple as just writing it down. You know what I mean? And it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. It's written. Like, just put in simple, maybe English or simple your language, whatever, because he knows better. And for you to be able to write it down is because you had a vision. And where did that vision come from? Who did it come from? You know what I mean? And it's just a way of saying, okay, God, I listened, I'm putting it down. Now you do the work. You finish it off. It means I kind of know where I'm going. So you do the job.
And that's what one thing I got from Oprah when she did like a master class, like towards the end, and she had said, when she was gonna do what's that show with Harpo, with Whoopi Goldberg and stuff like that. What's that show called?
The View?
No, with Whoopi Goldberg, it was Oprah with Steven Spielberg who did the show. The Color Purple. The Color Purple.
The Color Purple. Oh, yeah.
Right. So one of the things she had said, since she wanted to be on that show so much, but the thing that she had said is, after you've done all that you can do, put all the work you can do, pray all you can pray, just put it down and surrender and just leave it. God gonna do the rest. And that's true. Once you know you put it in and you did all the work, let it go. Because sometimes we killing ourselves for no reason. You do all you can do and then leave it to God.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh wow, that is so amazing.
I know. I come to the end very intelligent.
Having fun. I know we've been having so much fun, and this will never end because we're two talk show hosts who talk too much. That's the whole point. That's the reason why we have talk show. So, which is good. I embrace my talking. I love it, and I love the way you talk as well. So, do you think passion? Now, talking about passion and purpose and calling, do you think passion is the same as purpose and calling, or what's the difference?
Okay, so again, I read a lot, right? And sometimes I feel like certain things is a fad, right? Like people, it's just like certain clothes you might wear or whatever. Like sometimes you hear people with passion and purpose and all that stuff sounds really nice, but one of the best things, even though with all the fancy, well-educated people who say your passion and your purpose and all that stuff, I like Steve Harvey's definition. His own thing was more of your gift, and your gift kind of mixes with that. And because sometimes I know still struggle with what my purpose is, and even though a lot of people think they know, sometimes you're still not even fully sure. You know, sometimes it could be you have a hobby and you love doing something, and you're like, this is my purpose, this is my passion. Then 10 years down the road, you're doing something completely different. You know, so maybe that was supposed to get you to the next place. But Steve Harvey said you should focus on your gift. And his definition of a gift is anything you can do without having to think about it. And I never thought about it in that way. And because before that, I thought your gift or your talents was you had to be able to sing or act. I always thought it was that kind of realm. But at the end of the day, because I used to say when I was young, I had no talent. I had no gift because everybody, you know, I can't sing or dance or any of the typical stuff people consider to be talented. And when I read that, I was like, my gift honestly was, I talk a lot of shit. I just talk. I talk about nonsense. And I'm just good
You know
at...
what? Even with me, before I started my talk show, I was like, okay, God, I know I love, I can do hair, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I don't like it. Expert, do it. I can do it. I don't like it. But then I talk too much. God, I talk too much. What can I do that can help me utilize my talking? You know what I mean? Because you have to embrace what you have. You know what I mean? You have to embrace who you are. And you have to embrace just being you, right? So then I was like, what can I do? Like, okay, even if I have a talk show, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, what will I talk about? How will I approach people? Whatever. And they were like, and even Amanda, you're like, your laugh is just different. I'm like, okay, so you want me to look like a fool while I'm laughing just on screen, talk and laugh? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But then it's just one of those when you know you have it, but you don't have to think it. But eventually it will manifest itself somewhere, somehow. I don't know.
100% agree. Right. So that's what I was saying, like a gift. So mine was that, and I'm good at planning. I'm the kind of person that I go with a bunch of friends and everyone turns to me. It could have a flood day, like Patrice must have a raft, Patrice have the flashlight, Patrice have the umbrella. Like I always have everything, and it's so weird, like certain things you do all the time, I didn't think that was a gift. I just assume, I have this bad habit of assuming that whatever I know, whatever I do, everyone is thinking it or everyone is doing it, so it's not that exciting, you know?
No, but then the thing is, everybody else can do it, but there's only one Francois. You know what I mean? You're a talk show host. I'm a talk show host. You know what I mean? That being said, there's only one Amanda. There's only one Francois, one opera, one. You know what I mean? We can have 25 million talk show hosts, but there's only one you. Right? So we can't change that. You can never change that. Sorry to cut your point, but that one, I was like, that's the thing.
But and he even says, he said after you find out what that the gift is, because sometimes we think too hard. When people start to think your passion, we're thinking too hard. So he said, you find a gift, whatever you naturally do without having to think about it, and it comes easy to you. And he said, many times that same gift is like you do have a passion for something, but sometimes it's actually part of it. It's like a blend, you know? So maybe you're good at styling something or whatever, and maybe you like to sew, so it's like it kind of blends into each other. But when people come to purpose, to me it all comes together, but to me they're still kind of separate things. And like at the same time with purpose, I always say I still struggle with that, because sometimes I think, like me, I like kids and stuff that I want to make sure I could give back, having to do with kids, having to do with learning, and but sometimes I'm like, is that my purpose, or is my purpose to talk about relationship? Is my purpose to help? So sometimes you're not even sure. And sometimes I might even be fully sure today. I might be fully sure next month. Maybe next year I will. Sometimes you have to have that serious aha moment, and sometimes you have the small ones. But people like to. It's like how someone turns 18 and all of a sudden they're adult and all of a sudden they're supposed to know what they want to do with their life and what college they're supposed to do and what their future is supposed to look like. It's impossible. I don't know why everyone thinks like 18 is the number that makes you turn. It's like you don't turn 18 and all of a sudden you're so smart. So it's the same thing. You turn 18 and yes, you're supposedly adult, right?
Yeah.
But it's so much more. You still have to learn and grow. So people, maybe there are a few people that know what they want, but not most of us don't. Same thing with your purpose. Some people might know the purpose, but most of us don't because we haven't even lived enough yet to honestly find out or fall into that or know what your purpose is.
Oh wow!
Why do you have me using my degree? Okay, I have to be thinking.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. If you have it, then use it, utilize it. Why did you do it? You did it so that you can utilize it. Let's go with that. So, have you ever faced any challenges in your pursuit of your purpose?
Okay, many challenges. Just coming to America is a challenge, okay? People who not in your shoes, they don't even understand how it's not easy or whatever. Just adjusting to a whole different country and right, people on the outside looking and they don't think like that. They're like, oh, you're in America, wow, you know so much, you see so much, it's America, it's New York, oh my God. But they don't understand. Even though I speak English, I still have a strong accent, and my accent is not as strong as it used to be. But trying to come here and adjust to so much, it's hard. Trying to understand their customs, how they do things, how they see things, and me coming from a whole different background, that's a huge challenge in itself. And I had this thing for many, many years. That because I had an accent, people do look at people who have accent, they're not as smart, they're stupid, they slow or whatever the case might be, or they don't understand, I don't understand what you're saying because you're not in this section or this group of people that sound like this, so therefore you're not that smart. That's not cool. So all that in itself is an adjustment. And people, unless you're honestly an immigrant and understand that aspect of it, people would never understand how hard it is. So say I come here when I'm 20, right? Compared to someone who grew and born here, that's 20 years I've lost of knowing how the Americans or how certain things are done or their customs or whatever. So I have to come here, I have to adjust and I have to grow with it. So I'm already set back all these years. So you know how much learning I have to do to get to even understanding where they are doing things according to how certain things should be done. It's very hard. So that's one of the biggest challenges I've definitely had.
Right, and even somebody here, who is this? Trinis, I'm not too sure how to pronounce this. I can see it's upside down. Says, I can understand that the single story narrative. Okay. Oh, not the whole immigration thing. I am not too sure. But thank you so much, guys, for participating. Everybody who's been participating and throwing in comments. It's just that two talkative people have been on here, so we haven't been able to focus on the comments. But then if we're going to ask you if you guys have any questions from Mss Francois or for myself. But then I can also relate to what Mss Francois was saying just now. The whole idea of adjustment. Culture shock is real. Like, it is so legit. I come from a country where English is like our colonial language, you know what I mean? So we actually speak English, but it's the Queen's English. And then you come here in North America where they speak American English, and saying bonnet is something interesting. Bonnet, oh my gosh, you're making up words, but okay. So what's a bonnet? So what are you saying about bonnet? Like the front of the car. Oh, it's the hood. I'm like, oh, it's a hood. Okay, I know it is a bonnet, but okay, you know what I mean? So you get to learn different terms, but sometimes they just complicate it for you. For no reason. Because they actually understand great stuff, because they actually understand, but try and make it so difficult. But anyway, so resilience, last thing, Mss Francois, if you're still there, Sis,
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to
so
make sure the phone
so
don't die.
any word
Okay.
of encouragement, any words of encouragement to anybody trying to pursue their purpose, or to somebody who's waiting or looking for Mr. Right? Is it Mr. Right or even Mrs. Right? I don't know. Or is there
Mr.
any
Right.
such thing?
Mr.
Is there
Right
any such
now.
thing? Mr. Right now, we don't want Mr. Right now. We want Mr. Right forever.
So any words of well, this is what I say. When it has to do with like your purpose of going after what you want, what I would tell people is, it's according to who you surround yourself with. It matters so much. Like people always say, oh, you know, calculate the five friends around you or whatever, and I'll see, let me show you your friends, I'll show you who you are. Like people say that and they don't really understand how important that is. You know, so my thing is, when you're going forward, it has so much more haters than people are going to be there for you. So my thing is, you have to make sure and find the right people to be around. And when you find the right people to be around, at least you know, at least they'll be cheering you on instead of being negative. Because at the same time, when you're trying to go after your goals and stuff like that, people tend to call me crazy all the time. Because everything I think about or whatever, they say, oh, it's just because it's kind of out the box. Oh, I like to say the stuff that I think about, people are thinking about it. They just don't want to say it because it might be politically correct. Oh, that's not something you normally say in public.
When it comes to that, that's why when I say stuff, I just say, because if I am thinking it, I may as well say it. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. And you know what? And then you thinking it and saying it, you know how much other people are thinking it, they're just not saying it. And when you say it, just like
like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm offending the next person. No, you're not offending the next person. You're kind of helping somebody, or maybe enlightening somebody. Somebody may not have a clue of what's going on. And the same thing, if I am on the wrong or I said something wrong, I expect you, Mss Francois, to come and tell me and say, Amanda, I think you kind of messed up on A, B, C, D. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because you're thinking it, you're saying, okay, but why don't you see it in this perspective instead of seeing it in one narrow perspective? And I totally agree with you, the whole idea of if you're thinking it, say it. Why keep it? Like, why?
Exactly. And it's very hard for me to do the whole fake thing. It doesn't make sense. Like, I'm really bad. Like, I always tell people at my job, I'm like, you could never go up to anybody and say, oh, Patrice was saying all these bad things about you. I'm like, that's impossible because I already told them about themselves. So they can't say I said anything bad because they already know. You see, it works wonderful. So to me, it keeps me out of trouble because people are always going to say, do you know Patrice said so and so, whatever the case might be. I want them to be like, yeah, she told me. Whatever.
I know. Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious. Oh wow, that is so amazing.
Going for what you want, sometimes it's scary, and I don't want to say not that because there's gonna be the people that are gonna offer different advice or whatever. But I say, if say 10 people offer you advice, to me you should listen. But make your decision on what
decision.
Exactly. Make your own decision because sometimes a person ABC do that, you try to do ABC and then you're doing too much and it's not even what you want because some people always try to tell me, oh, why you don't do that in your show? Oh, why you wore that outfit? Like some people, everybody always going to have something to say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this is my thing with certain things like that. When people try to tell me how to do my show, what to wear, whatever, my thing is don't come at me unless if you're going to give me advice, make sure you have the solution at the same time. So if you're telling me don't wear a particular outfit on my show, therefore you're supposed to be either giving me money to buy outfit or you're bringing me clothes to put on. Otherwise, that's why people are not brave enough to tell me anything. Okay? Because my thing is people always come in to tell you 100 things, but no one has a solution. So why are you talking to me?
Exactly. If you're going to come with a suggestion, come with a solution. But if somebody, I think I once heard somebody say, I would rather listen to somebody who gives me a suggestion and you're giving me the money to do whatever it is. Then I know you're for me. Not to just give me a suggestion and then what? Right? But then somebody just put a comment here saying, and that reminds me the concept of real, as in a real man and a real woman, that and that. And being real. So, what is your question? Who is this, by the way? Trini Sweethand. Okay, Trini Sweethand. What do you mean? If you could elaborate on that? Okay, we understand on being real. Like nobody wants somebody who's fake. Me, I don't like fake people. I can't even keep fake friends. You know what I mean? So, so I'm like, right. And what else? So, any questions? We're still waiting for Trini Sweethand to respond, to get back to us on what she really, is it a she or a he, really means about the whole being real concepts that she's talking about. You were talking about people being straightforward. Okay, just being real. I think she's in agreement with what you were just saying, that just being real is the way forward. And just being legit is the way forward. And with me,
and I think it also does come with age and experience and stuff like that, because everyone is trying to be something they're not, trying to make the other person feel good, or no one wants any conflict or whatever the case might be. And I get that. But as you get older and you've been through certain experiences, like whatever.
Right, exactly. Oh, sorry. Trini Sweethand is a he. Sorry, I was referring to you as a she. Sorry about that. But then he was saying that it's not easy for a person to be straightforward. It's easier said than done, which is true, because sometimes you try and reserve every comment because you don't want to lose people, or it's a matter of fear. Let's put it that way. It's somebody living in fear, because you live in fear of saying, what if I lose this person? I can tell you, I've been through that phase where I was thinking, okay, because I am one person who calls out on people. If I don't like something, I will tell you. I don't like it, because at least you know what I don't like and it's off my chest, than for me to keep it and then, and then it bundles up and bottles up. And before you know it, I am going to blow up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that on its own, I would rather just say it and let it out. And I used to be afraid to say, oh, I don't know what this person is going to think of me, or they're going to leave me, or whatever. But then a real friend would actually accept correction. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, I didn't see it that way. But then the way I was raised is different from the way you were raised. To you, what's normal may not be normal to me. You know what I mean? So if I say what I did not understand in terms of your actions, if you can't take it, then obviously we're not compatible in terms of being friends, in terms of being anything. Exactly. And if you're not compatible, why would you keep a friend that's not compatible to your level?
Right.
You know what I mean?
My thing is, I do try to definitely, I always tell people I would never go and be disrespectful on purpose. And I always tell people, if I do offend you, do let me know. And again, I will act accordingly to that particular person. Like certain times, even regardless if it's work or your own friendships or whatever, you have different friends for different things. Maybe you have a friend that you're going to go partying with. You have one where you're going to drink with. Maybe you have one that you could listen to motivational stuff with. So you section your friends off, because it's not everybody you could do everything with, and not everybody you could tell everything to.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. And now we're having lots of comments here. There's another long comment from I Am Joe Show. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this one. It's saying women say just tell, sorry, I'm just trying to go through here. Okay, women say just tell from the jump. It keeps hiding this. From the jump what you want. Then when you do, up front they say what kind of girl do you think I am? Okay. Okay. I don't know if I'm understanding what I Am Joe Show is saying. Okay, obviously if I tell me from the get-go, I think people will say, what kind of woman do you take me for? They come from a bitter side, if I should put it that way. Because if anything, if you tell me what you want and it doesn't align with what I believe in, it's only a matter of me telling you that I don't believe in this. You know what I mean? So that's it. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to start saying, oh, who do you think I am? What do you take me for? I think that is just too dramatic. To be
Right.
honest, that is
I-
just too dramatic and with no peace.
And I do understand because sometimes men have it hard with some of us women, especially
I
women of
know,
the
because
day.
we're
You know,
complicated. We're
because
complicated.
I said I'm glad I am a female because sometimes the guys have it so hard. Sometimes they're trying to talk to a female and then we give attitude. We don't even, like I always try to be polite. Like even if I'm saying no, you could say no in a polite way. Like everyone be having attitude like, no, don't touch me. Oh my God, sometimes it's too much. See, some women are making it hard for beautiful, smart women like me.
Look at that! I like the confidence, girl. I love it. I love it. But then that's how women are created. You know what I mean? Some women are complicated and some women are simple. But then sometimes when you're simple, they say you're too easy. Sometimes when you're complicated, they say you're too tough. So men are also complicated. Come to think of it. Now I'm thinking about it. Men are complicated too. What? But anyway, to everybody who was tuning in and everybody who put in their comments and whatever, this was so much fun. We're gonna try and figure out a way where I can actually put my camera the proper way, I guess, where I'm able to read the comments, because I'm actually finding it hard to tilt my head and read some of the comments, and it takes forever, and yeah, it's just a whole lot of work, but but anyway, yeah, life is fun. Confidence versus complex versus difficult. Oh wow. Okay. No, that's tough. Did you see that one, Miss Francois? Patrice.
No.
Confidence versus complex versus difficult.
Look, I ain't got time to be doing no kind of maths, okay? That's wonderful. Whatever. No, I wasn't trying to be too deep. Good for them.
Maybe that person is trying to be too complex.
Exactly. I ain't got time for that. Good for them.
And they're laughing. Oh my gosh, this video. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Anyway, we're now signing off. It was so much fun to have you, Miss Francois. It was a blessing.
Make sure you see the side. You see how cool the side of my hair looks?
Ooh, I like that. What does it say?
I have no idea.
That is so much fun. And I am thinking of getting a haircut, yo. I'm thinking of getting a haircut. And then I see stuff like that. I'm like, okay, this is slick, but what does it say? Oh, you have no idea. Now I don't know if I still want to get a haircut. You know what I mean? It's so much fun. Anyway, for everybody who wants to follow Mss Francois on her talk show, I will put all her details on the poster. You can go on my IG feed. The poster's there. I'm gonna put all her details there, and you can follow her. She also has a YouTube channel. Like, YouTube is the thing. I like YouTube. I love YouTube, yo. And then and also we're gonna save this and put it on YouTube because this lasts for only 24 hours. So it's just anybody who wants to come and rewatch it, feel free to share it around. Obviously, that's the whole purpose. Yes, and then follow Mss Francois on her talk show, her YouTube page, Mss Francois on IG.
Yeah, Facebook and IG, yes.
Yes, oh my God, that is so amazing. So anything to the viewers, Mss Francois, before we go?
I mean, even if you don't care about relationship and you don't care about comedy, I'm cute enough to tune in. Just to even look at me, to me that should be satisfying enough. I don't see why else you. I mean, I'm cute. Look, let me.
Look at that! I love that! You're so gorgeous.
Exactly. Why am I single? So, to all the men out there, if you're between the ages of 35 and 45, make sure you have a job. I'm like, make sure you have a job and some goals and things you're working on, okay? Don't be calling me because I ain't trying to support nobody.
I know, eh? Oh my gosh, you're so amazing. Thank you so much, Mss Francois, and I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to meeting you face to face.
We're gonna definitely meet one day. We're definitely meeting one day soon.
What's that, sorry?
I said we're definitely meeting one day, but I said one day soon. I don't want to say one day because one day could be anytime. Okay?
Anytime, very soon. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
I'll shout you out on Steve Harvey show.
And see you there. Actually, I'll meet you there. I'll see you there, and I'll be laughing my behind off. Anyway, and to everybody who was watching, everybody who was commenting, thank you so much. And please stay tuned every time, every weekend. Actually, I'll be live with different guests from all over the world, and also tune into my Amanda Notando show on YouTube. You can follow my channel because I also pre-record some of my episodes, so you can enjoy and meet different people from across the globe and from Edmonton. Yes, exactly. And to all the ladies out there, young, old, what do you call it, teenagers, young adults, you name it, remember, little girls with dreams become women of vision. Do not ever forget that. Do your best and do what you love. I'm out. I said peace. Thank you, Ms.